Hi everybody, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com and welcome back to another Inspire Me Monday for Power Poppy. I'm using the Everything's Rosy digital image. This one came out a while ago and I will have the link to it in the description box below if you're watching here on YouTube, and it'll be in the blog post if you're watching over on the Power Poppy blog or my personal blog. So I printed this one out on Fabriano Artistico 140 pound hot press watercolor paper. I created the sentiment myself and then just cropped it in at the top. And I am using the palette I showed you there was one I created a while ago. I have a video of it on my YouTube channel of the colors I picked and the process I went through and all of that kind of stuff. I've really been enjoying using it. I've added a couple colors to the middle of the palette, the Moon Glow, Lunar Black, and Hematite Brown, simply because I reach for those all the time. But other than that, this palette has not changed and I've really been loving using it. So I'm just starting off here by adding some blue into the background. I mixed French Ultramarine, Phthalo Blue, and the Indanthrene or Indanthrone Blue. I can't remember which one they call it. It's the PB60 pigment. Together with a lot of water and probably a little bit of Moon Glow by the looks of it here because I grayed it out quite a bit. And I'm just splashing that in the background to start. This does appear very, very faint after we start adding a bunch of the other colors and it dries back, because when watercolor dries it gets lighter. That's just the nature of this medium. I love painting. I love painting Power Poppy images, and I'm really trying to get back into the swing of things. I had been working, oh, hang on. I'm showing you guys kind of what colors I'm mixing together here just to give you an idea of how I go about this. So these are all single pigment colors. So I'm mixing together the Phthalo Green blue shade, the Phthalo Blue green shade, and Quinacridone Gold to get this teal color that I'm going to use on the teacup. Anyway, back to what I was going to blab on about, because that's what I like to do. I was working like crazy hours. Some days were like 17-hour days, and my brain was gone, and I had no mojo, and I didn't film, and I hadn't colored anything, and I really needed to do something. And a friend of mine said, just print something and color. If you don't like it, do another one. Like, just go to bed, get up tomorrow and do something. So I did that, and I'm really happy with the way this one turned out. It's kind of kickstarted my mojo. I filmed a couple other videos since this one that you guys will see in the coming week or weeks. And I hope you guys are still enjoying my videos. I know I've been kind of not here, but I've still been trying to get you guys at least one a week. Now that night shifts are over and ridiculous amount of hours are over, I'm hoping I can get back into some form of normalcy with my videos and just with life in general. It's been interesting. We have a boil water advisory, so like every time I need to do dishes, I have to boil like 19 million. Okay, that's exaggerating, but anyway, like 5 or 6 pots of water just to wash and rinse my dishes, and it takes 3.5 bottles of water to make a pot of coffee, just in case you ever need to know that information. So it's all just kind of been a headache, and it just kind of weighs down on you, and I'm like, I'm over it, you know? So that's kind of what's been going on in my neck of the woods. It's been fun. Fun. That's the word we'll use. So I'm just going through and I slowly build up the layers on these. I do cut out where I dry with my heat gun because I am going in and just force drying things. Like I said, I really just I just needed to do something, and I didn't have the patience to wait. I usually walk away and let my paints dry naturally in between, because as long as that paper feels cool, it's wet. And as long as it's wet, those watercolors are moving. But I just didn't have the patience. I didn't want to boil water to do dishes in between. I didn't want to go downstairs and fold laundry. I didn't want to do anything in between. So I just blasted it with my heat gun and carried on my merry little way. There's nothing wrong with that. So on our cup, I did those center ones with the Lunar Black just to make them gray. And then I am going in with my 2 purples here to color in the other stripes on this cup for the other flowers. This image is so pretty. Like, if you guys haven't picked this up, you definitely should. I love painting flowers, and I've always enjoyed Marcella's images, and she puts up with me. So thank you, Marcella, because I mean, sometimes it can be quite the task to put up with me. But I really enjoy painting her flowers. It makes me happy, and it just, they always seem to work out, and it's super fun. So I'm going in and I'm starting on our leaves here, and I just go in and I drop down just a light wash of Quinacridone Gold to start. I am going to come back through with sap green. I do mix it myself because I have both the single pigments on my palette. So once I get that gold in and dried, I come back in and I start layering in our sap green that I mixed. And starting with a lighter layer, drying it, adding darker. And that's kind of the way I tend to work with watercolors. It's easier to build them up than it is to take them away. As you can see, there's a little stain in the top, like just over from the hello there. And I can't lift it because it was a staining color and it won't go away. So it's just there, and that's okay. I accepted it. I was not starting over. I was not reprinting. I just wasn't. I was coloring this, and however it turned out is what you guys were getting for today. So that's kind of the situation we were in. It was a bring back my mojo. I need to do something fun. I need to have a little artsy fartsy time for myself with my paints and just be happy and hang out in my own personal little bubble. So that's what we did. Once I get all this green and the leaves dropped in, I did zoom in a little bit more because I thought I was a little bit far away. I'm going back in and I'm adding a little bit more teal to this cup and some lunar black to those polka dots just to make it bounce out a little bit more. I started trying to be careful, and then I was like, no, let's just paint this all in. Again, this is quinacridone gold again, and I'm just adding in a slight wash of it. A lot of the reason why I do this is just to put color there. It's because these flowers aren't yellow in the end. I was never intending on painting them yellow. But sometimes white's intimidating and I don't know where to go when it's white. So I tend to take just a really light wash of some color. It could be any color. I could have done blue, whatever. And just put that in order to have it not be white anymore. So then I don't have to worry about ruining something that was white because it's already now yellow, so it really doesn't matter. So then we're going in and I'm just going to start washing over quinacridone coral. This is one of my favorite colors. I love quinacridone coral. I use this in almost every flower painting I paint. If you guys pay attention on my Inspire Me Mondays when I'm using watercolors, I'm using this color literally probably every single time in some form or another. So I start by being picky and I'm kind of blending it out and trying to, and then I get lazy later on and we just kind of pick up the pace. But I like to leave it all in for you guys to watch. I mean, I could easily skip ahead and go on to Miss Flowers and just say it's the same thing over and over again, but some people really like to watch that, so I try and kind of leave it in 99% of the time, especially if I can. I have sped this one up quite a bit. I think the video is right around 20 minutes long, and we are painting currently at 4 times the speed that I actually move. So I'm very slow, and I like being slow with my watercolors. But it's definitely, it was a labor of love. I sat down for like an hour and a half and just painted. Caleb went out on his bike and played with some friends, and he was gone, so I had time to myself, which was fantastic because I really needed that. And he was cruising around town and doing his thing. I live in a town of 400 people. They're out on their bikes all day long. So, he was gone and I was painting, and it was just a really good hour and a half just for myself. And that's part of why I make cards. Like, this isn't my job. This is not what I do to pay my bills. This is what I do for fun, and I like to share with you guys. So that's why you guys get these videos. I'm not making a fortune. I'm not making anywhere near what it costs me to live. But I like it and I like to share. So I enjoy doing this for you guys. And those of you that watch, I truly appreciate that you sit down and take 15, 20 minutes out of your day and kind of hang out with me and listen to me jabber on about who knows what you're going to hear when you come to my channel. Some days when I listen back, once I finish a voiceover, I go, oh, Jessie, why'd you talk about that? Like, why would you go there? But I did, so I leave it because it's done and over with, and I mean, whatever. So now I'm going in and I'm starting to deepen everything up. So I'm starting where the shadow would be, so where it folds underneath of another petal, and I'm laying in the darkest color there and then slowly blending it out into the rest of the area. I'm trying not to go all the way out to the edge of the petal because I kind of want to leave that yellowy hue where we laid that little bit of coral over. So it's kind of like a peachy color now. And I don't want to make that completely gone. So I'm just taking my time and slowly blending them out. And by the time we get to the end, I'll probably be lazy and just kind of splashing it all over the place because that was the mood I was in when we did this. but it turned out really pretty in the end. So we're just slowly building them up, and going through and through. I'm running out of things to blabber on about. Yeah. I got nothing. Oh, I got something. Here's a story for you. My car got backed into. That was fantastic. I got it fixed this summer, well, last summer, because I had hail damage on it when it hailed. So I'd gotten that fixed, and I think it didn't get done till like October. The list was long, and I use the same, okay, I have issues all the time, so I have an auto body guy, like literally, he's fixed every car I've ever owned. Now, in my defense, I've never gotten in an at-fault accident. I have hit 7 deer. Now I've been backed into and then hail damage. So it's never been like, I ran into somebody or I hit a light post or anything like that. It's always been like, the deer jumped out of the ditch at 3 o'clock in the morning and I hit it. But anyway, so she backed into me and came across and told me, and she hit like the front corner of my car, so like the front bumper screwed and the rocker panels all messed up, and she twisted the headlight, and they think she broke a clip off in the back of it. So I'm currently waiting for that to go get fixed. I was super thankful that she came and told me and took fault for it. No, I didn't have to pay the deductible to get my car fixed. Like it was really nice that she took responsibility for what happened. So thank you to her for telling me that she broke my car. And now I'm just waiting for parts to come in so that it can go get fixed. Because I've only had it for 2 years and I bought it brand new and I kind of like to take care of it. So it'll be nice when that's all fixed up again because it needs to be done. So we're just still adding those in. Wow, I hope you guys aren't bored because there's a lot of pink being painted here today. Now we start one more round. So this time I went and pulled out quinacridone red is the red I had in that palette, I do believe. I think this is red. No, this could still be coral. This is still quinacridone coral. So we're just going to do the same process again. I am going to actually stop here and speed this up just a little bit more because, well, maybe not. Nah, it's going faster. We're okay. So we're doing, it's the same process, and I'm just, every time I go back and I'm adding in more layers, I am mixing more paint with less water to get a more saturated version of that color and be able to blend it up. Instead of trying to go really, really deep and fade it all the way out to that super light color at the end, I'm building it up in layers. So I'm making sure that everything is dry before I go in with the next layer. I'm building that up slowly. I personally like the way it looks. I think it's easier to control. My colors don't wick where I don't want them to go. It kind of, watercolor has a mind of its own to start with, so this kind of lets me take as much control of the situation as I can, and I enjoy it. So it's a long process, and it definitely takes some time, but the results in the end are worth it, in my opinion. I really like the way things come out when I'm done, and once I've put all these colors in and just kind of worked them slowly. I am using a number 8 round brush. Yeah, I haven't switched to anything smaller. So I'm using a number 8 round brush. I find I get better control with the bigger brush than I do with the smaller one, if that's not ironic. I can wash it out a little bit easier, and I still get a super nice fine point on it. These are silver black velvet brushes. I have on good authority because Kevin told me yesterday that him and Caleb ordered me some Kolinsky sable brushes for Mother's Day. So I'm kind of impatiently waiting for that day to roll around so that I can try those out, because I think I've been recommended those from Marcella here at Power Poppy and lots of other people that they're very, very good. I've had my black velvet brushes for over a year now, and I find that they're starting to get floppy, and I take very, very good care of my brushes. My brushes don't sit in water. My brushes lay flat when drying on an absorbent surface. I never, stand them tip down in anything to wreck my tips or to misshape the brushes or anything like that. And I just find with the amount of money I pay for them and how long I've had them and how well I take care of my brushes, they should be in better shape than they are. I really like them, don't get me wrong, and they're still a great brush. I don't know, I'm starting to find them getting floppy, so I figure I'm going to try something else and see how that works, and Who knows, I might hate them and go buy some more black velvet brushes, which is a very good possibility. So it all depends on what these ones do. I do have some others, like I have Princeton brushes with the maroon handle. They're faux squirrel brushes. I really like those as well. The tip isn't quite as narrow as it is on the black velvets. So it's kind of just playing around and trying different brushes and seeing what you want. Now I'm adding in some moon glow on the bottom just to create the cast shadows. And then I do that around the flowers and all over the place and dabbing that off. So I'm using moon glow to create all of my shadows in the flowers, on the cups, on the ground. That's what's going to create all of those shadows. And we're getting close to the end of this. So I just go through and I'm just following the artist run lines, and then you'll see me come in with my paper towel in a few points here, and it's just because I found that I had too much water and too much pigment. So I dabbed it up just a little bit, and it still gives you that shadow because that color is still soaking into that paper. And we're going to carry on and do that around the entire image. I think it's super pretty. My son's on his way home, sorry. I got a little distracted. My mom texted me. He spent the night at Nana and Papa's last night. So she sent me a message and she's like, he's getting ready to come home. I'm like, that's fine. He can come home. Like, I'm here, whatever. He's got his bike. He's good. He can pedal himself 4 blocks and make it home. So we're just finishing up going around on that, and then afterwards, I don't show me cutting this down, but I do cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I mount it on an A2, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base, so it gives it that bright white frame from our card base around there. I am going back and I'm adding a little more of that blue mixture into our background because I found that it was a little bit too subdued now and I didn't really see it anymore. So you can see how I'm not doing it like really smooth, I'm just kind of splatting it in. And then this is moon glow and I'm just going through and putting in a few little dots. And then I go back and I just kind of blend them out a little bit and wash them out so that they blend in with everything else. And that's it for today's card. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave me a comment down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.